Hi ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kia and this is the Kia Zone. Well, today we're gonna find out what are the top 10 deadliest creatures currently living on Earth, and by the way, please make sure to like and subscribe as that really helps me to spread out the name of my channel. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. When it comes to the deadliest animals in the world, we all know that sharks would have earned their place, right? Well, worldwide sharks are responsible for several hundred attacks on humans each year, but only an average of 6 to 7 deaths each year. In the United States though, sharks cause about 1 or 2 deaths every 2 years. The most famous of these sea monsters though goes to the 3 races of the great shark, the bull shark and also the tiger shark. We normally think that elephants are smart friendly creatures, and they also have proven us right, if not disturbed, right? Well, it's worth pointing out that they have been doing performances in circuses for many years too. Though the main reason that they perform so well is because of their high intelligence and their complex emotions and also social structure. But not to forget that as lovely and as friendly they may seem, they are also known as the largest creatures on Earth that live on land. Which means that the immense amounts of weight will definitely come with a ton of power that is associated with it. Elephants who are kept captive are capable of rage and anger, which has caused them to kill around 500 people each year who got trampled, thrown, crushed or other similar unpleasant means. The hippos rank as the third biggest land creatures after rhinos and elephants, which also explains the main reason why they have earned such a place on our list. Little to know that they have a reputation for violence and aggression due to their nature that cares much about their territory and in their habitat. It's also an interesting fact that hippos are most likely to attack boats for trespassing in their habitat with their sharp teeth that grows up to 20 inches, which comes very effective, and not to mention that they are also responsible for about 500 fatal human encounters each year with whether biting or trampling. The testy fly alone makes this list deadly if I'm gonna be honest. This insect that lives in tropical regions like Africa won't kill you with a bite of course, but it's the infections that the bite will transfer to the human body which will cause the African sleeping sickness. Now you might be wondering what African sleeping sickness is. Well, put into simple words, this disease will prevent you to have unscheduled sleep, fever and extreme fatigue, which is difficult to cure due to the lack of medical resources in area. Reliable sources indicate that around 10,000 people die each year after being bitten by these flies. The next place goes to the real apex predator, which is certainly the crocodile. This creature is among the largest, most aggressive and also dangerous animals in the world, weighing at nearly 2,000 pounds. Crocodile's bite is definitely lethal. The deadliest kind of this creature though goes to the Nile crocodile, who resides near the river of Nile and was so feared by the ancient Egyptians that they used to carry tokens that were supposed to protect them against the crocodiles. It's also worth mentioning that this creature is responsible for something near 1,000 to 5,000 deaths each year. Surprisingly enough, the next deadliest animal on our list is none other than the freshwater snail. Well, just like some other examples we made, it's not particularly the snail that kills you, but it's a disease that it will transfer. According to the World Health Organization, several million people are diagnosed with this parasitic infection called schistosomiasis every year, and somewhere between 20,000 and 200,000 of these end up being fatal. Now you might be asking, what is schistosomiasis? Well, this disease will cause abdominal pain and also blood urine. Though it's worth mentioning that this disease is most likely to be fatal in developed countries, because a wide range of countries that suffer from this infection has also mentioned that they have a lack of medical resources, which means that if you live in a well-developed country, there is no point in worrying much about this disease. One of the most famous and the loveliest pets of all eternity also takes the place in this list. Though it's worth mentioning that since we're living in the 20th century, direct fatal encounters by dogs and wolves has become exceedingly rare. But what holds these animals to this place is the number of deaths caused by the canine transmitted rabies, which is responsible for nearly 50,000 human deaths each year. Though as we mentioned before, many of the death cases take place outside and far from first world countries, and they are most caused because of the lack of medical resources. Well, an unpopular opinion of mine says that snakes are one of the most beautiful animals out there, but that doesn't mean that the fear of these creatures is unreasonable, as they are responsible for nearly 100,000 deaths each year. It's also worth mentioning that the shortage of medicine against snakes, and also more importantly, the lack of knowledge about certain races of these animals, are the main reasons for the danger caused by them. Now you might be asking, what do you mean by the lack of knowledge? And to answer to that, I must say that, ladies and gentlemen, snakes are different from each other, as each of the certain races has its own specific type of venom, which has particular side effects and tips to it. And to deal with each of them, you will need different medicines and knowledge. It's also worth mentioning that while most people fear anacondas and boa snakes, the snake responsible for most deaths in the world is the saw-scales viper, who resides in Africa and holds the power of instant neurotoxin to take out humans as easily as possible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the second place, I decided to include the humans. You might be confused at this point, and you also might not be. As we all know, the human race is more dangerous and deadly than any other creature that has ever lived on Earth due to their intelligence and freedom when it comes to doing things. And when it comes to their negative effects, we can point the millions of deadly wars which have killed more than you can even think of. And also progress of global warming, which will be the ultimate doom considering that it's nearly unstoppable. But besides pointing the history and the future or whatever, humans are responsible for deaths of 50,000 of their own kind every year without considering the wars or diseases. Surprisingly enough, mosquitoes take the first place on this list, as they are the real-life vampires who will suck your blood out of your veins without even you realizing the process. Discussing the dangers of these creatures, they are the reason for the most deadliest transmitted diseases around the world, such as dengue fever, West Nile fever, and the Zika virus, and not to forget malaria. There's also an interesting fact worth mentioning, and that's the fact that only the female mosquitoes feeds on blood of humans, and the male gender only uses the nectar of plants. Some scientists even believe that half of the deaths from the start of the humanity until now are caused by the mosquitoes. But remember that these creatures don't even need such a resume to be feared by the humans, and until I haven't forgotten, mosquitoes are responsible for the deaths of 750,000 humans each year. Anyway, that's the end of this list. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It's always an honor to entertain you guys, and until the next video, farewell.